Hey, welcome back to our channel and welcome to episode 2 of our 855 rescue here. And if you watched the first episode, we rescued it out of a barn. We brought it home and we got the loader off and the backhoe off. When I first was working on it, I was confused as to what loader it had. Normally these come with a model 78 loader, but this did not have it. And I found out it's a model 52 loader. And the reason I couldn't get it off without using the loader is it was missing their support arms. So I'll show you in a sec what the support arms are. So thank you to our viewer, Photo Control. He let us know that this is a model 52 loader. And the one thing about the 52 loader, down here, there's support brackets go in there. When you take the loader off, normally these stands are in here. They sit inside the tube there, but obviously they're missing. And so we'll have to make a set. I found the diagram where I can make a set. So hopefully that'll make it a little easier to take off and put on. Be a lot easier to take the loader off when we're servicing it. So thanks again to Photo Control for the information. So it's all washed up now, at least as best as I can get. And so let's start taking it apart and see what we got to do to get this thing going. So first thing I'll do is take all the covers off. These come off pretty easy. Couple bolts on each side. Get those out, and I'll get the grill off. We're gonna take the whole fuel system apart. I want to flush it, empty the tank, put a new fuel filter on it, and clean it out as much as I can. I don't want to be running old fuel in this. Pull this grill off. It's our gas tank down in here. So with 4 bolts under here and a couple of wires, I decided to take the hood right off. Just give us that much more room. That's got it. I'll see if this does it. Hopefully I can drain most of the fuel out by doing this. All right, little double. Here it comes. Well, that's definitely not doing it. Let's see if I can pressurize the tank a little bit. So now I'm using shop air and a couple rags over the filler spout, and that's how we're getting it out. I'm going to add maybe a gallon of fresh diesel to it. These little pumps are pretty cool. Just runs on a couple of batteries. Hey, let's get some of that fresh diesel through it. I guess it's the best we can do. So I'm going to snip this hose off here, get a fresh piece on there. Still plenty long. There we go. So the next thing we're going to need to do, we're going to need to have power so we can run this little electric fuel pump and flush most of the fuel through. So I have to get a battery, and batteries and that thing are definitely not going to fix. And the only other thing that doesn't need its battery right now, it's this guy. I'm sure its battery will fit. It's my 1957 Volkswagen Beetle, and I've had this forever. So maybe we'll do a video about this sometime, if you guys are interested. And this guy, the battery, is underneath the back seat. So I'm sure he wouldn't mind sharing the battery for a little while. So we're going to do that. We got a battery. Should be close enough to fitting. I think it's awful nice of the little Volkswagen to lend its battery for a while. It won't be needing it for at least another month in this weather. And then maybe by then we'll have a video by it. What's wrong with my wrenches? Some sort of oddball size. 12 millimeter. Who ever heard of a 12 millimeter battery strap bolt? It's not 7/16. No. Maybe it's 11 millimeter. Well, it's oddball. Must be corroded or something. Hopefully it'll grab on tight enough for us. See if anything irks. Don't smell anything burning. That's a normal size. Oh, now it's stuck. We're going to have to get creative with that one. So let's see if this battery... I can hear the fuel pump. So let's disconnect the other end and see if we can finish flushing it. So the next thing, while we got the battery hooked up, we can run the pump. Let's change out the fuel filter and we can flush that out. Guy goes here. So I changed the old O-ring. Got a nice new O-ring there. I cleaned out the bowl. Surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. A little bit of rust. Make sure that spring is still in there. Make sure that spring is still there. Put it all back together. Oh, I know what we should do. Let's run this and flush that first. There we go. Nice fresh fuel in there. Should be enough. Okay, let's bleed this up here and loosen that screw. There we go, that one. And now this one. That's good. She's bled right up to the pump. All right, before we do any more, maybe we should check on all the vitals. We're trying to make sure there's oil and everything in it. Lots of oil, reasonably clean. The hour meter reads 2002 and the filter reads 1962, I think. So there's barely 40 hours on that filter. So hopefully that's the oil change also. Let's check the rad. Yep. Must be antifreeze in it. There's water in it, otherwise it would have froze years ago. And one thing I noticed, these aren't the right lug nuts. Those are just regular bolts and washers. They should have tapered bolts in there. So we'll have to swap those out. Hopefully it hasn't damaged the rim. I noticed same thing over here. One of these was loose. And there's missing a couple down there. We'll have to replace those. I noticed the rear tires are actually truck tires. They're LTs. There's the size right there. So they're 33 by 12.5 or 15 LTs. So these are actually truck tires. Can't see why they wouldn't work. They actually have white lettering on the inside. So maybe you got a deal on them. Should work. Got lots of tread. But really, that's the only thing sticking out. A little bit of wiring issues here and there. Somebody's been into it. So we'll just have to be careful. Check that out. Let's take a look at the air cleaner. Might as well clean it while we're here. Oh, looks like somebody's keeping their breakfast in here. Look at that. I don't know if somebody's keeping a snack or a breakfast in there, but I guess we'll have to clean that out. Have some vermin in there probably. Pulled out the little breakfast cereal or whatever that is, or kitty food, I don't know. Anyways, there was lots in there. I'm glad we checked that before we started it up. Blew out the filter. It was pretty dirty, so for sure I'm gonna, once this thing's up and running and we figure everything's okay with it, we'll change all the fluids and filters, and this will be another one of them. But all the fluids and the filters will do for now until we get it running, or we start spending money on it. Okay, last but not least, so there's a strainer in here that gets overlooked quite a bit, from what I understand. I've never done it, so I don't know how much oil is coming out. This holds about 5 gallons of oil, so just in case, I got a valve ready to go. I'll take that out, quickly put a valve in there, and then we can meter it out. So let's do it. Well, that definitely wasn't much. Or maybe that strainer's plugged. Let's find out. See if we can turn that out of the way. There we go. Kind of stuck. There we go. Whoa. I'd say that strainer was pretty plugged. I see lots of junk coming out of there. We'll clean this out, see what it looks like when it's clean. So this is the filter strainer after I cleaned it. All it is a fine mesh. Doesn't look like it would take much to plug it. She's nice and clean now. I blew it out, washed it with mineral spirits. So we're going to be putting that back in. And along with a couple new O-rings and top up the oil again. O-ring in here. In there. Well, that's good. Well, luckily for me, the previous owners gave me an almost full bucket of 5 gallons of low viscosity hydraulic oil, so that'll come in handy. Looks like we lost about 3 gallons. So it's the moment of truth. We're going to try to start it. I'm just going to go over everything. I put fuel in it. We flushed the fuel system. I know there's water, antifreeze in there. Motor's full of oil. We checked the air filter. Somehow we got somebody's breakfast out of there. Battery's good. We have to remember the remotes are not hooked up. So in theory, as long as I don't operate that lever, no oil should come out of here. In theory. We'll see how that works. And we checked everything else. We cleaned that hydraulic filter. I think that probably would have been causing some problems. We brought the hydraulic from the remotes. This is an open center, so we have to make sure we plug that back in. Otherwise, the hydraulics aren't going to work. The hydraulics up to level. Screen's all clean. So let's see if it works. Okay, parking brake's on. It's in neutral. Both plug lights are coming on. Let's see if the timer works properly. Won't shut off. Lovely. There. Ha! Wouldn't shut off. Lovely. Get some doors open here. Hey guys and gals, it's been a couple days. I was out of town celebrating my brother's birthday, so now we're back on the tractor. As you've previously seen, it runs. So we do have a few issues. So let me bring you up and I'll show you what's happening. So when I first got this running, it was running rough. So I thought, since we had put a new fuel filter in and we had bled it to the pump, but I thought maybe there was still air here. So I'll show you. Here's one of the injectors. I'll start it up. You'll hear it running kind of rough. And I'm going to bleed this injector, and you'll notice that the note will change. And then when I tighten it back up, it fires back up again. So I did that to all three, and you'll see that it's running on all three, but it's still running kind of rough. So I'm gonna bleed this. Hope you can hear me over the motor. Hear it stumble. And now she's good. So I did that to all three, but it still didn't help. You can see down here there's a bellows right here. And that's your shut off. If I try to shut it off, it's still running even though I've got the key turned off. If I turn the key back on, yeah, it's good. So that should be pulled in. When you shut it off, now it shuts off. So it's obviously getting some sort of electrical current. It's either weak or just not working right. So that's one thing I'm going to have to work out. It's obviously part of the electrical. And the other thing, so right now I'm going to fire it up. We'll get it running properly. And I'm having a little issue with the hydraulics. We'll pull that bellows in again. Now it's running properly. And idle it down. Having a little problem with the hydraulics. Power steering, which is run off the hydraulics. It's stuttering. You can see it in the steering wheel. It's not working properly. There's some sort of assist, but it's just not working right. And if you drop the 3-point hitch, it comes up, but it stutters. So we're going to have to look at that. Hey, thanks for watching as I play with my new little toy. We got it running, but we have a few issues, and we'll be looking at that in the next episode. So please like and subscribe if you want to follow along. I hope you find this interesting. My subscribe button will be right there. So, and make sure you follow my 755 playlist also. So, see you next time.